Hello, welcome back to my kitchen as I share 5 delicious 30-minute summer recipes your whole family is going to love. Truly some kid favorites in here. I'm using a lot of simple summer ingredients, a lot of fresh herbs, and all of these come together fast, really leaving you plenty of time to enjoy this great weather instead of spending, too much time in the kitchen. I hope you enjoy a few too. My family loves roasted honey carrots. We have it so often, but I'm trying to get in a little bit of a better habit of using what's already in our pantry or fridge each week to make our groceries stretch longer. So I'm tossing in some potatoes too that were a little overdue, so I didn't have to throw those away, but I do think sweet potatoes would be even better here. Chicken cutlets is also another favorite in our house, but I'm trying a similar way of doing it, but this time in brown butter and then adding a nice gravy at the end. It's just a slight variation that is not as messy, with the breadcrumbs and the oil, but it's just as delicious. You just flour the chicken, make sure you pound it out first because then it will cook faster in the butter so the butter doesn't get burned. You just cook it in a little butter and oil. I like to throw in some sage at the end after the chicken is done to get those nice and crispy. That gives, some adult flavor for us. And then you make just a quick gravy with a little chicken broth and a bit more flour. It's such an easy homemade sauce. And little tricks like this is how you kind of take something plain like chicken and carrots and it can actually be turned into something your kids and family love with a little extra effort and not that much more time. Our basil was starting to sprout in the garden, so it's a good time to use it up. I hadn't been using that much of it, but I love homemade pesto, and that's the easiest way to use a bunch of basil because I still like keeping the plant, but they grow like crazy in the summer. I also picked my first couple of very small garlics. They were small garlics when I planted like the varieties, so next year I'm going to try to find some bigger ones when I plant them, but so happy it actually turned out. These I'm going to try to save and do a big roasted chicken with these. These are so good with some cream sauce over roasted chicken. I've had it in a future video, I'll post that, but great use of the garlic tops. So I'm going to just quickly throw this together, some pine nuts and the basil, the fresh garlic, and the rest of, the extras. I'm going to pair it with this nice chorizo sausage. I think the two will go really well together. See how this garlic looks. I've never had fresh garlic like this, but wow, a little clove, it goes a very long way and gave the pesto so much flavor, and it just went great with the kick that this chorizo brings. I love chorizo, and now my oldest even likes it too, which is great. I just leave it out for my youngest. This is a super simple go-to lunch for us now that I'm making a lot. Sometimes I add the sausage, sometimes it's just basil and pasta, but the star of homemade pesto really makes this a dish that everyone loves. It's hard to beat a nice crispy chicken thigh to me. These are cheaper cuts of chicken and just add so much flavor to any dish, and it's great with this quick braised chicken and bean recipe. After the chicken gets nice and crispy, about 5 minutes per side, add in a bunch of garlic and fresh herbs for around 30 seconds to release all their flavors. Take all that out and add in just one roughly chopped fennel, a diced onion, a bunch of garlic, bay leaf, salt, fennel seeds. Do not skip the fennel seeds. They add a really nice flavor, and some fresh lemon zest. That all cooks for about 5 minutes before adding in the chicken broth, green olives, and butter beans to stew for about 5 minutes. Then nestle the chicken just back in with a bunch of parsley and cook for around 5 to 10 more minutes, or until the chicken is completely done. I love this one because it's definitely just a few steps, but while it cooks, you kind of have time to prep the other ingredients that go in next, so it makes it a quicker meal, even though it has a lot of flavor and a lot of great ingredients and is kind of like a stew. I got this recipe from Julius Roberts on Instagram. I really love his cooking. He has such great, simple seasonal recipes, and this one is relying on a lot of fresh herbs to make this the most delicious meal. Definitely my favorite. I realized we went all spring without a strawberry shortcake, so I immediately had to make it. I made a lot of other strawberry things, but just I love this. It's always like a staple for us. So this one uses 100% whole wheat flour, so the shortcakes can really be a nice nourishing snack for the boys all week and a little bit of a treat for them. I always like to freeze my butter and then grate it. I think that makes it really easy to incorporate into the flour. And this really fresh vat pasteurized cream that I get from Azure Standard makes these so good. And as well, the whipped cream that goes on top, that's just simple to go together, and the cream really makes a difference in the taste. I've been having some issues with my bread not rising really well with the switch to a different whole wheat flour that's a little better for us. And one of you on here suggested, I guess it's more of like a slow bake method where I put it in while the oven's preheating. So I'm gonna try that. Oops. And also suggested to use oats on the bottom, which I really like because it's like you don't have to then buy so much parchment paper, which, you know, is nice. And because you're putting it in cold, you don't have to worry about it, you know, burning you. I'm gonna try this method. Hopefully it works out good. Thank you so much, whoever told me how to make it this way. I really appreciate all your comments and learning from you all as well. It worked out so well for me and rose beautifully. I also love how much easier it is not having to deal with a scorching pot, especially with like young children around. The perfect timing for me, I found out, is 55 minutes on the first bake and 8 minutes on the second bake. Just have to play with it a bit depending on how crusty you like your sourdough. And of course I have to cut into a fresh baked bread the same day. So we're having a super quick and easy meal of creamy eggs with a nice quick tahini arugula salad for us parents. I absolutely love tahini. It's such a underrated, I think, nut butter, and it makes the best hearty salad dressing together with just a little bit of fresh lemon juice and herbs. My kids at least love an over easy egg. We have them most mornings, but cooking it within a little bit of cream and butter instead of just butter makes this feel like a little bit more special for dinner. I don't ever do this for breakfast, but when I'm having breakfast for dinner, I'll maybe go, and take a little extra step like this. The trick to cooking them this way is just to cook them very slow so you don't burn the cream, which can burn a little easily, but it's worth the extra time. And you can do more in a pan. I was just trying out adding the bread on top to crisp it, but that didn't work out so well to me. I think it's just easier to toast the bread separately. Well, thanks so much for watching and spending a little bit of time in the kitchen with me. I hope you got a few new meals for your next week that you can easily throw together for your family or yourself. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.